Hey guys. Hey guys. No. So I've been rewatching Yu Yu Hakusho. You can watch it on YouTube. Um as you can see, I've been watching it all the way from the beginning. I'm on episode 78. And if you want to watch it, you can go ahead and watch it on YouTube. It's only 112 episodes. Hang on. 112 episodes. There's the OVAs, which actually are worth the watch. But yeah, only 112 episodes, no fillers, no nothing. Just click on the first one and then just let it roll. So I'm kind of not part way, but semi into the Chapter Black saga, which I always liked the Chapter Black saga because Sensui was a cool villain because he was human. And that's usually sometimes the best villains when they're human. Kind of like Tagore. Well, Tagore was part demon as well. He was human, but then he was made into a demon. But this human who essentially has almost godlike powers. But so I'm watching it, and I never realized before. I'm sitting there and I'm watching from episode 1 to whatever episode I'm at now, and I'm like, you know what? Koenma is a really, really bad person. He really is. He's a bad person. He's abusive, mainly towards his assistants, especially mainly George, who the blue ogre, constantly belittles him. It's constantly physically abusing him. Says that like ogres are equal to field mice on Earth. So he's saying that ogres are inferior, despite the fact that the ogres are the ones running his, everything in his palace. They're the ones who do the filing and the paperwork, this and that, and keeping schedules. And he just stamps most of the time. So he belittles them. And the only people who can't belittle are Yusuke and the group because they say something back. So he essentially picks on people who can't defend themselves. But yeah, so he picks on people who can't defend themselves. He's constantly abusive, belittling. He also makes Yusuke work for free. Yusuke was, for the first few arcs of the show, he was the spirit detective. So, not to mention these cases, they weren't just simple little cases of, oh, we need you to do this and go talk to this person. No, every case he has is world threatening. Every single case, even as early as Hiei Karaman Goki. The Artifacts of Darkness, the Orb of Boss, the Shadow Sword, and the Forlorn Hope. Not only could all three of those weapons be used to destroy the planet and conquer it, he said that his father would sink entire continents to get them back. So, just that part, the earliest part of his detective work, catastrophic events could have happened had he failed. Does he get paid? Nope. Next, he has to go to Genkai's compound and enter her tournament because Rando's there, a demon who has taken the power of 99 psychics and is trying to learn Genkai's powers as well. Same thing. This dude was a powerful demon. Well, I mean, by the end of the show, you realize he wasn't as powerful because he was like a freaking C-class demon or something like that. But back then, for Yusuke, when he's starting out, that was a lot. So being able to harness Genkai's power, yeah, he would have probably gone from C rank to like fucking A rank, easily. So he gets there, he fights Rando, he wins. Rando's defeated. World saved again. He gets nothing. And you can say, oh, well, he's gaining experience and he's gaining, has special powers. No, he is a spirit detective. He is performing a service, in which case he should be compensated for said service. He was also dragged into the whole spirit detective thing, kind of against his will. Now you can say, oh, well, he died, Koenma brought him back, and blah, blah, blah. True. But one, he wasn't expected to die in the first place, so they kind of had to, do something. But Koenma was like, oh yeah, I'm going to commission you as you're a spirit detective now, by the way. You don't have a choice, but you get cool powers. So even then, just because it's like, oh, he brought him back to life, he's still performing a service. He should be paid for his time and, risking his life. So from Rando, they go to Spirit World, to part of Spirit World, to go to May's castle, where you'll find the 4 Saint Beasts who were sending Makai insects into the human world. They were infecting people, getting into them and turning them basically mad. People attacking other people, destroying, looting, rioting. Doesn't sound too much different from things that have occurred in the past, does it? Funny how fiction sometimes reflects reality. So he goes there with the help of Kuwabara, Kurama, and Hiei. They take down the 4 Saint Beasts one by one, thus saving the world yet again. Does he get anything in return? Nope. Next, he gets a videotape delivered by Hiei with his next case, saying that he needs to go to Tarukane's compound and rescue Yukina, who is the sister of Hiei. And preferably before Hiei does anything, because Hiei will absolutely slaughter anyone who tries to get in front of him, and they're trying to, not as many casualties. So him and Kuwabara both go to the compound, and they save Yukina. They're introduced to the Toguro brothers, who are extremely strong, and that sets up for the next part. But Yukina's rescued. She's saved. Hiei doesn't do the damage that he wanted to do because he's talked out of it. Just as he's about to kill Tarukane, Yukina stops him. But the day is saved. Yukina's safe. Does Yusuke get anything for it? Nope. The next is the Dark Tournament, one of my favorite sagas in the, series. So he's convinced to get into this tournament by Toguro, who wants Yusuke to fight and get stronger so he can face him in the final round, because Toguro is looking for someone essentially to take his life, because he's gotten so strong and he has no rivals, essentially. So Yusuke gets to the final round. He fights Toguro, which is one of the coolest fights in the show. He defeats Toguro, becomes the champion of the Dark Tournament, and what does he get? Nothing. I mean, he gets Genkai back because she dies fighting Toguro outside of the ring. He kills her. But that's not exactly a prize now, is it? That's not getting paid. They were also supposed to get a wish, essentially. The tournament committee was supposed to pay them or give them whatever they wanted. Like 50 years before the show, Toguro wanted to become a demon of the highest class, with strength, never aging and strength absolute. Him and his brother became demons because of the tournament committee. They made that happen. But Toguro killed the tournament committee. So Yusuke and his group, because they were all supposed to get something, once again walked away empty-handed. There was also the whole side plot of Sakio trying to open a tunnel to to Demon World, trying to let in all the bad demons. So he inadvertently stopped that from happening. Doesn't get paid for it. Next, we have Chapter Black, which is really fun saga arc, because you have all these cool powers being introduced. So you have Sensui, who shows up, finds Elder Toguro, and his whole thing is he wants to open up a tunnel to the demon world. But he's not going to use money to do it like Sakio was planning to, because Sakio couldn't imagine a psychic powerful enough to open that barrier or the, portal. Sensui has his partner Itsuki. So Itsuki's opening the tunnel to Demon World. And so, of course, not only do they have to stop Sensui, they've got other people trying to stop them. Other humans who they need to say, okay, do we take their lives or not? Because we're against taking the lives of humans, but they are trying to get in our way. You have Game Master who ended up losing against Kurama, who got his life taken away, but then Koenma restores it. You have Gourmet, who was just flat out basically decapitated by Kurama. So it's kind of a mixed bag. You have Yusuke fight the Doctor. Not that Doctor, not the time-traveling TARDIS Doctor, no, just the Doctor. He hits him hard enough to essentially kill him, but then Genkai revives him, saying that, Yusuke can't have death on his conscience. So it's kind of a mixed thing. Some people die, some don't. But Sensui, by far the most powerful up to this point. He has the sacred energy, which is basic godlike levels. Supposed to take 40 years to learn, but since he has seven personalities, you divide that amongst 7 personalities, it doesn't take very long. So, even though Sensui does actually kind of succeed, and they do go to Demon World, he dies. Of course, it's kind of by Yusuke's hands and kind of not. Apparently, Sensui was dying anyway, some fucking virus. But same thing. Once again, Yusuke and team saved the world. And this time in a huge way, because it wasn't just going to let low-class demons in. They were going to let the A and the S-class demons in. And if anyone knows how powerful an S-class demon is, like, there's lower S-class, there's upper S-class, and there's super S-class. Basically, like, the kings of Spirit World are the pinnacle of S-class. That's basically as high as you can get. And if they were able to cross over, they could annihilate the planet. They could just, boom, planet gone. So, once again, catastrophic. Taken care of. What does Yusuke get? Nothing. Then the Three Kings saga happens, which again, I mean, all the arcs are really, really good. But he goes to Demon World after fighting Sensui because, he's been taken over by Ryzen. His Banzaku blood has awakened, so now he's kind of, he's part demon. So he goes to Demon World after kind of being invited back. He wants to fight Ryzen because he's still pissed that, Ryzen was in control of his body, and he didn't want to. He didn't actually try to kill Sensui in the way he did. He wanted to take Sensui down, but he didn't like the way it was done. So he went back, and he ends up staying there for 3 years. And at this point, it doesn't really matter because he's not Spirit Detective anymore. Once he became the Mazaku, they gave him a dishonorable discharge, so he was no longer Spirit Detective. Despite the fact that he was still continuously fighting for the planet, they're like, oh, well, he may still be on our side, but we can't take the risk. He's a demon now, and even though he's saved the Earth countless times, and that he's still fighting bad guys for us, we don't need him anymore. Despite the fact that if he got mad, he could annihilate all of us, and none of us could do anything about it. Because even King Yama is only like a B or A class. Yusuke was S, so by the end of the Three Kings saga, freaking Yusuke could body the ruler of the spirit world. Hell, freaking even Kuwabara at that point could probably body him. Uh, but yeah, Yusuke is a spirit detective. He performs a service. He never gets compensated for his work. With that line of work, that man should have been rolling in money. He should have been able to give Keiko the best fucking life possible. He could have had, after that whole freaking discharge thing from being spirit detective, had he saved his money, early retirement. Early fucking retirement. He could have given Keiko a great wedding, because we know they ended up together. Let's be serious. The ending of the show pretty much shows that they were going to end up together anyway. Not to mention every other hint throughout the fucking series. So he could have given her the best life possible. They could have just settled down and just enjoyed their life. But no, he got no compensation whatsoever. Same thing with any time that Kuwabara, Hiei, and Kurama helped. Now, I'm sure Hiei and Kurama really don't matter because they're not part of the human world anyway, so they don't need money. But what about Kuwabara? What about the times he helped? They're expecting these guys to do everything for free. Well, you get cool powers. Yeah, great. Well, are cool powers going to pay my rent? Are cool powers going to get me a house? The only thing cool powers are going to do is if they get locked up in jail, you can just blast through the fucking wall. So the whole ruler of the spirit world belittling his people, not compensating Yusuke or Kuwabara for any of their work, it seems kind of shady. It seems like spirit world is actually the bad place. They look at all the crap in human world and all the crime going on. Then you look at demon world and think, oh man, they're demons. They must be these fucking savages. No, spirit world is truly the bad place. They belittle their people. They don't compensate their spirit detectives, especially after they've saved the world God knows how many fucking times. So, yeah, Koenma is a terrible fucking ruler. And King Yama's no better, because he lets it happen. Because he's the king. Koenma's just the prince. So King Yama's allowing all of this fucking belittling and abuse and lack of payment. You can say, oh, well, what would they pay them? Spirit world dollars? I'm pretty sure they have connections on Earth that would be able to compensate Yusuke in human currency. Considering they live in Japan, it wouldn't be dollars, of course. It would be yen. But I'm pretty sure they would be able to compensate Yusuke for his time and effort and sacrificing himself God knows how many times and saving the Earth so many times. Pretty sure they could have a hookup in Japan to compensate Yusuke with real currency. Nope. Doesn't happen. Yusuke is poor till the day he dies. I mean, apparently he becomes like a freaking traveling like noodle cart salesman or some shit like that, but yeah. He could have been living the good life. Him and Keiko could have just, retired, led a good life. Probably like Genkai, somewhere out in the wilderness, where they didn't have to be bothered by anyone, where they could, have some alone time. Or hell, maybe they would just live at Genkai's compound, considering she gave it to their group. After, the final episode, she has them all come see her, and she's like, yeah, I'm giving this place to you guys. Like, yeah, there's like a giant wall on one side, a stone wall on one side, and a ocean, shoreline on the other. That tells you where it ends. So all this stuff, as far as you can see, that this is your guys' now. So I'm pretty sure Keiko and Yusuke wouldn't mind. It's unfortunately living there, because she said, Genkai Hour said, it's like, yeah, it takes several hours by car to get to the nearest town. But Yusuke doesn't need a car. he ran for fucking like 4 fucking days. So you can pretty much imagine that he can just zip across and be there in a couple of minutes. So it'd be perfect for someone as fast as him. But no compensation for the spirit detective who risked his life and died and came back to life as a demon, or the spirit detective who was giving life energy because he ran out of spirit energy to be the last of the Saint Beasts. No, nothing. And it's sad. And that's why Koenma in Spirit World is a terrible, terrible place. But hey, that's just me. What do I know? I'm just a person on Earth. I don't want to be saying anything bad about the people in Spirit World, but you guys need to get your acts together. Anyways, yeah, if you guys want to watch it, just type in like Yu Yu Hakusho episodes, and as you saw, all 112 episodes are on YouTube. So yeah, if you want to watch them, they're all there. I recommend doing it. I recommend doing it right now. Anyways, you guys know the drill. I'll see you guys later. Bye, guys.